Happy Tuesday. Welcome to the Third and 10 podcast. Episode 72 of season 2 is now live. I'm Nate, joined by my guy Brian Germanaro. The Third and 10 podcast is a show where a strikeout isn't an out, apparently.
Apparently not.
Apparently not. Sorry, it's an inside joke for those of you who don't know. I won't go into it too much, but someone told me, or someone told a coworker of mine that a strikeout is on an out, which is quite
The word
interesting.
out is in the name.
I know, quite interesting.
And it's like,
People,
the one thing, the one out a pitcher has complete and total control over. like,
people will do people will do anything to be correct. But my guy, it's good to see you again.
Yep.
Last time we spoke was on MLB opening day.
Mm-hmm.
So how are you? How are you feeling? I know we'll be having our new MLB segment towards the middle of the show with your Mets, which is called, and correct me if I'm wrong, Flushing Faithful.
Yeah, the Flushing
Correct?
Faithful. That's another word for Mets fans.
Okay. I was trying to say that's an interesting name to say the
Yeah.
least.
They play in Flushing, Queens, so Flushing and Faithful.
Well, you know more than I do when it comes to the
Mm-hmm.
Mets, so I can't wait to get your thoughts on that. Of course, and some other stuff going on in terms of MLB. The torpedo bats
Torpedo
are
bats.
torpedo bats. I have tornado bats for some odd reason here on the show, but it's okay. We'll fix that.
Hey, maybe tornado bats are coming too. We don't know. What
I,
the Mets this morning hired a physicist to build a bat for them. So maybe he makes a tornado bat.
and so we're gonna be different. We're gonna call it the tornado
Torpedo
bat. It's like what? But I'm excited to talk about MLB. My Oakland A's were unfortunately blown out in their home opener on Monday, which was unfortunate, but it's okay. They went 2-2 this series before against the Mariners, but we'll get into all that towards the middle of the show. More importantly, though, Jameis Winston has press conference on Monday, along with Joe Schoen giving an interview with Giants.com, talking about draft plans and all the things. And then later in the show, we'll do our NFL league meeting update because there were some rules that were passed, others were declined. And then finally, won the show with a post game segment where we talk about random stuff across the sports world and, of course, in the social world because someone is now single. And it's not either of us because we've been single for quite some time. But
I was gonna say nothing new.
nothing new, but a particular woman is single. But we'll get to that towards the end of the show. So first off, make sure to like and subscribe. We appreciate y'all's support, and shout out to Belly Up Sports for having our backs when it comes to this stuff and allowing us to use or have a platform to talk about the things we love. So, Mr. Jameis Winston, I will say, like I said before, and I'll say it again, my friend, it is nice to have two quarterbacks on the roster after having zero for the past
2 years.
what? Yeah, pretty much.
That's disrespectful to Tyrod Taylor. He was actually a good quarterback. He just got hurt.
I'm not gonna say it's disrespectful to Daniel Jones. I was like, nah, he would
No,
not.
he's not a real quarterback.
Hey,
Bro, this is a man that's got more nicknames than playoff wins.
Indianapolis is gonna have an interesting decision to make because he had two run dominant quarterbacks whose arm talent is kind of a question mark. In Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson.
It's two quarterbacks that they both reached on. That should have been taken in top 10.
Yeah, one of them, Jones, he can throw the ball. AR cannot.
No,
he just can't do. Oh,
Jones
he can't do it efficiently.
The ball. He's just scared to or something.
He's scared to make a mistake, and he's made plenty in his Giants career. But I think like he's scared to make mistakes, but he'll get your receivers the ball. AR is just inefficient when it comes to getting players the ball. Mm-hmm. So it's just a whole like mess basically. But Winston did have his press conference on Monday. And I want to give you some of your takeaways from that press conference because he did say some interesting stuff. First off, I'll give one of my takeaways was that he signed up with the Giants because of the opportunity to improve the quarterback position. I will say, okay.
And knowing that they're going to bring another quarterback in, too. Like, he was, when he signed, he's like, yeah, no, it's not just going to be me back here. It's going to be someone else.
Yeah, like, he knew, like, signing with the Giants did not guarantee he'd be a starter. Because he mentions later on in the press conference, he is like, yeah, I'm looking for, a starter / bridge quarterback role. And with the opportunities limited, the Giants had the best deal for me in terms of that, I should say. And that's why he signed with us, which is fantastic. Even if we signed him and we walked away with just him from this offseason, it'd be kind of because look, I love Winston, but we need to be set for the present and the future. And he knew that. And so thankfully the Giants they told him like, hey, we might get a draft pick. We might get a free agent. He was on board still. And we have one of the best backups in the league now. And we'll talk a bit more about the backup position because Joe Schoen mentioned that in his interview as well with Giants.com. But what are some other things that you took away from the press conference, my friend? I have a few, but I want to start with also get your input on whatever.
Yeah, a big one for me, and I think this is just as a Giants fan, is Jameis Winston talking about how much respect the Giants organization still has in the NFL world. Like, I feel like it's a fear among Giants fans that we're kind of losing our place as in terms of model franchises and historic and stuff. But the way Jameis talked about what the Giants offered and what they brought in, and how he's talked to different players and they've had nothing but glowing things. And Jameis even said in the interview himself, he goes, "This is not a 3-14 team, culture wise." I think that's huge. I think that shows that okay, the Giants are still that organization we grew up with. It's just they're in a bad spell right now, but the infrastructure is still there for them to get out of it.
Yeah. And when he was asked about that, what appealed to him about a 3-14 team, he was like immediate change, the ability to have immediate change. And, it's required to start winning so that way they can have more laughs, more giggles and all that. I was like, interesting line to say the least by Winston.
But even if you watch that press conference, there was just a cheerful vibe about it, Yes. I don't know maybe it was just Jameis' infectious smile, the way he was kind of going back and forth with the reporters. He talked to that one reporter who was probably on vacation or something, and he goes, "Man, I see the palm trees behind you. You look like you're having a great time there," or something along those lines. I'm like, okay, this is just a happy-go-lucky guy that could be a guy to change the culture. If he's just kind of happy and wacky, the guys could just relax and focus on the field more. Not let the outside pressure get to them.
Yeah, because these reporters aren't used to having a goofy or someone trying to make jokes in the background.
Usually robotic, like Eli or Daniel Jones. Now, did Eli make jokes and play with the media? Yeah, sure, but nothing like Jameis just did. He would make a joke in the off season or the preseason. That was just kind of corny dad jokes. Jameis is just happy and laughing. He's like a golden retriever energy is what I got from him.
Yeah, and we love that. We need that energy in the locker room. And he's just based off what he talked about with the team. He mentioned how the Giants have 3 superstars in Neighbors
which
and Wandale. Yeah, and he mentioned Theo Johnson as a superstar too, which was just
he mentioned Hyatt as a potential superstar too, which is the second Giants quarterback to mention that. So I'm telling you, if the Giants hold on to Jalen Hyatt, he's going to have a huge season this year because both quarterbacks love him.
I think based on what these two guys are saying, I don't think the Giants even have a choice. They have to keep Hyatt at this point.
Mm-hmm. Even Hyatt, up to the trade deadline, just give them a little run.
Yes. And Hyatt, there's a reason why we drafted him. And personally, I still need to see it until I, really be like, okay, I'm glad you're still here. We got to see it from our view. But based off what Russell and based off what Winston's saying, they love him. And he's a deep threat. That there's no question about it. It's just, one, can he show that he is and that it was really the quarterback's problem that he wasn't productive so far in his career? And 2, can he be more than just a straight line guy? And that's something that we'll get answers to, in the upcoming season. But Winston was mentioning Hyatt. He also gave his flowers to Darius Slayton, who is a veteran, kind of the veteran of this receiving group. And he also mentioned Tyrone Tracy and Devin Singletary as 2 guys in the backfield that he's looking forward to working with as well. Just overall, he's just like Russ. He studied the team. He's mentioned these guys on the team that he's excited to work with. He also mentioned how his relationship with Russell Wilson is also pretty good as well.
I didn't realize he had a mutual friend. Was unaware of that.
Yeah, and I guess that mutual kind of brought them closer together. So that was interesting as well. And then Wilson was actually one player who, quote, allowed him to see how enterprises and businesses and how he worked on his body on other things. So kind of ironic that they brought in two guys who had a close relationship with each other,
But
and all things.
I honestly think that works in their favor because there's no fear that these guys are going to resent each other because one's starting over the other one. These guys are, I don't want to say they're friends, but at least have some sort of acquaintance. They're acquaintance. They have some respect for each other. Like, they're going to be guys. And I don't think Jameis would be the kind of guy that, like, get bitter that he's not starting. Neither would Russ. But there is that fear of, like, hey, these are two competitive guys. If they lose, they might, be, upset about it and kind of bring down the whole locker room. I don't have that fear now with it. Now knowing, A, just seeing Jameis in that press conference, be like, okay, this guy's just happy to be on a football team. And B, that there is that relationship that these guys are going to work together and not try to sabotage one another or root for the other one to fail.
I do have a question about that actually, because it was reported that Russell Wilson will take the first team snaps in the spring. If the Giants really did a open quarterback competition, because it's not going to be, because Wilson's starter,
it's Wilson.
Winston, if they did actually do a open quarterback competition, do you think Winston could have beaten Wilson out for the job? No,
I don't think so. I think Wilson is just too big a name that, like, even if you are doing the open competition, you're gonna give the excuse to Wilson and kind of punish Winston for some of his more carefree aspects of his game.
So it would take a lot.
It would take a lot. Wilson would have to show that he is on the way out, and Winston, I'm not saying Winston has to be like the perfect quarterback and like not be that gunslinger that he is, because that's Jameis Winston. If you're watching Jameis Winston and not expecting to throw an interception, I'm sorry, you're not watching Jameis Winston correctly. But yeah, no, I just don't think there's any. But yeah, there's just no way he could elevate himself to that position to be starter.
Yeah,
unless Wilson was really just washed, like a Drew Lock preseason performance is what we would need to see for the Giants to be like, okay, Jameis has to go out there.
That was awful.
Yeah, that was bad.
That was bad.
I think that killed any like hope yet. I think we had a little excitement that, hey, maybe Drew Lock does just kind of click here. He showed flashes in Seattle, and then that quickly went out the window.
Yeah, after that, I remember we had a show that the week after, I think, of the performance, and we're just like, nope,
not it, guys, not it.
Is screwed. But back to Winston, he sees what's possible with this team.
Yes,
this offense, he says, can be explosive. The defense has an incredible front, and he mentioned the free agent additions as well of Holland and Adebo. And like he said, it doesn't look like a 3-14 team, and that was a big statement made by him, because look, I get it, we were bad last year, but man, there was just we're not a 3-14 team. Now, I'm not saying like, oh,
we have the talent to be better than 3-4. There are talented pieces on this roster that you don't get with a 3-14 team.
Mm-hmm. Like, who knows if the offensive line stayed healthy, because they were healthy for like 6 games, the first 6 games of the season, and then injuries happened, right? The receiver room, Malik Neighbors, of course, outstanding. Play calling could have been better, I'm sure, to get high at the ball. Slayton, Robinson, and they did their thing, of course, but and of course, defensively, Shane Bowen was terrible in his first year as the DC. Yeah, defense was getting torn up, and you can either factor that to the offense not putting up points or just the defense just being bad as a whole. Point is, or both. But this team, it's not like you mentioned. There's players on this team that will make sure this 3-14 season doesn't happen again. You have a Neighbors, you have a Tracy, you have a veteran in Wilson now at quarterback. Winston is there as well now too. Those two guys at quarterback will make sure this team does not finish with a bad record like we did last year.
No.
Last year was a mess. We once again didn't have a stable quarterback. First year for our new DC. Offensively, outside of Neighbors, we really didn't have much. Outside of Neighbors and Tracy, I should say, we didn't have much. And Tracy didn't even start the year, so it was basically
Tracy didn't really go off till Germany.
Seattle.
Seattle. Yeah.
I forgot Germany. Oh no, I remember that game. He fumbled in overtime.
The Germany game was afterwards. Seattle was first, right?
Yeah, that was first. That is correct.
Yeah, no, yeah. That was Mets Phillies was on that game as well. I wasn't really paying attention to the Giants. It was on. I'm like, oh, cool. Block field goal. Back to this. Dialed.
Back to what really matters.
Back to what really matters here.
Back to winning teams.
Yeah.
In the Mets. But yeah, I love Winston. I do. Mm-hmm. And his press conference just made me even love him even more because he wants to be here. And that's and it's good.
And he wants to win here, which is big.
He wants to win. Yes,
I think that, and you can say whatever you want. The schedule's hard this year. We went 3-14. You could point to 1,000 different stuff, but Jameis Winston wanting to win here and being here for 2 years, he could be a veteran voice in this locker room that keeps the guys motivated. Hey guys, we're down 13-10. I know we haven't played well, but let's get right back into it. That's a voice. Especially coming from a guy like Jameis Winston that can inspire, because it seems hard for me that teammates wouldn't like playing with Jameis Winston, right? Like that kind of seems like that doesn't really seem right. Like seems like anyone would love Jameis Winston if you're just hanging out with him. So for that to have that kind of leadership in that locker room, that will go a long way into getting this team to stay in games, not quitting on the team like we saw in that Buccaneers game this year. So, I'm excited.
You have to be miserable not to like playing the Winston. Like he just.
And even then, I think a miserable person's like, yeah, everything sucks, but this guy's kind of funny.
He has an infectious energy that you can't dislike, honestly. Yeah. And it's like you mentioned, golden retriever energy.
If it's the first thing you like, that's the first thing I noticed when I sat down because I just had the interview on in the background. Like I don't really need to see Jameis Winston, but like. When I put it on my TV, I saw his face. I was locked in. I'm like, oh, okay. My attention's grabbed here because it was just such positivity radiating off him.
Mm-hmm. He's just someone I do hope if he gets to play.
I hope we get a few starts from this year.
A few starts here and there.
Yeah. Like ideally, Russ plays all 17 games because that means something good happened. If Russell Wilson's playing 17 games this year, something went right for the Giants.
Yeah. and even if Wilson gets hurt and Winston has to start, I do hope Winston has success because if he can pair up that football success with his personality, the Giants must love him being more because us Giants fans would be like, oh my God, not only is he like making jokes and keeping us like happy, but he's also playing well on the football field, which makes us even more happy.
Yeah.
Or happier, I should say. So overall, Winston, great signing, love it. But we're gonna shift from that to Joe Schoen's interview with Giants.com, because he also makes some notable comments as well, talking about the draft and everything and stuff like that. He did say it was hectic how everything went down in terms of the whole quarterback situation.
I would expect.
Yeah, and it dragged longer than expected. But he's happy with the way the quarterback situation ended up. And I will say, and this is one of the main points. Just reading the article about what he said to Giants.com about like the quarterback situation and how Russ signed and everything. It just made it seem like he really was forced to keep Daniel Jones. Like if he could go back in time, he would have not re-signed Jones to that 4-year contract. But just the way he was talking about Russ and how important it was to get 2 quarterbacks and how he was happy with the way it ended up. To me, I was just like, yeah, he didn't want Daniel Jones.
And it's no longer an arranged marriage. He's no longer like when he was brought in, if what we're saying is right, John Mara basically forced him, hey, if you want this job, you have to do something with Daniel Jones. You have to give him an ample opportunity to be a good quarterback. For the first time in Joe Schoen's entire general manager career, he picked the quarterbacks. These are his guys. Now, he didn't draft them. He signed them. So it is a little different. But these are 2 quarterbacks where he watched the tape, he studied them, and identified them as guys that can hit the roster he's building. So, of course, he's going to be excited for that.
Yeah, he was impressed with Russell Wilson, and he was aware that Wilson was naming guys in his press conference, and he was like, that's the leader he is. And he also mentioned how there's 7 quarterbacks that's played for the Giants over 2 years. That's insane. Seven of them. It's ridiculous.
That's bad. That can't happen again. This is a franchise that went 15 years with 1. 7?
Yeah. Too much.
7
over 100 years? maybe
7 over.
7.
If we're doing 7, hang on a second. Hang on. Whoa. 100. That means every quarterback plays about 15 years. So if we're doing that, that's great.
Yeah, but not 7 over 2 years is definitely not the move. And to add on to that, that's what he mentioned, how the backup position was important. The backup quarterback's position, to be exact. He also referenced James Hudson at swing tackle, which kind of pissed me off because I do not like James Hudson whatsoever.
I think
tackle
they do,
that we
though.
signed. Well, they do, but I don't. So we can have two different opinions.
Exactly.
But it was important for Joe Schoen to have a backup quarterback that will be serviceable and also healthy, and that's what Winston is for them, and that's what led to the signing there. But the thing is, he did kind of confirm with us that at number 3, best player available is the best option for them.
Yeah, which is the right move.
Yeah, like he still wants to upgrade and everything, and he can. I mean, the Giants have 5 picks in the top 105, which is really good to say the least. But he talked about how since he was hired, his goal on draft day is to set things up where the team can play a game that day.
I love it.
Yeah, and for the average person, that's like, shouldn't you always be ready? Yes, but what he's trying to say is like, the
guys he draft can step in day 1 and be good starters. Like, they could be like, hey, we're playing the Bengals tomorrow. Here's the playbook, memorize it, and then you're going out there.
You're going out there, yes. And that's why, like, he mentioned how he doesn't feel forced to go towards a certain position or a certain player. And the only time he felt that way, actually, it was interesting to hear about this, was in his first year as the GM. You know, he had to cut players to get under the salary cap, and that led to some need-based moves. And I was thinking about it. I was like, okay, in 2022, Thibodeau, or was it? Yeah, no, it was Thibodeau.
Tibbs. It went Tibbs, Neal, Wandale, and it wasn't like a defensive end or something, a defensive tackle.
I forgot what it was. I can't think of it. But he was talking about how there's like need-based picks were made, of course, during that first year, and that makes sense because he was literally trying to fix Gettleman's mess.
It was an O-line, so it went Phibbs, Neal, Wandale, Josh Azudu, Cordell Flott, Bellinger, Dane Belton, McFadden, DJ Davidson, Marcus McKeith, and Darren Beavers.
I feel like McKeith and Azudu were need-based for sure.
Those are 100% need-based. Like, you draft an O-lineman at 7, and then your first pick in the 3rd round at 67 is also an O-lineman.
Yeah.
It's need-based.
So he was, and that just shows he was trying to fix that offensive line.
Yeah.
But, like, it was more forced because need-based. So,
Joe Schoen's the kind of guy for me that, like, when he's in the draft room, he doesn't care about the position. Like, he's obviously not going to be looking for, a wide receiver at 3. But he seems like the kind of guy that likes to look at a player first and then figure out how to fit him on the roster rather than looking for a specific position to be filled. He's like, okay, I like the way this guy plays. How do I get to maximize him on this roster?
You know what impresses me the most is that so far he hasn't overpaid anyone.
No.
But let me rephrase that. He hasn't overpaid anyone on his, or how do I say this? Can I say with his own will or by his own will?
Yes.
Like he wasn't forced.
Overpaid somebody based on his decision alone. Because Daniel Jones was an organization decision by far.
By far, yeah.
That came from the top down. But like, even like Saquon Barkley, Joe, you could say all you want that, like, maybe if they don't give Daniel Jones contract things so differently. Joe Schoen knew, hey, I have Daniel Jones for this long. I can't give $15 million for running back to hamstring us. It's going to suck, but these are the moves we have to make. We can't overpay for this running back when we're already overpaying for Daniel Jones.
See, so you freaking NFL fans who want to be like, oh my God, the Giants going to bring me a Saquon Barkley. Yeah, well, because our owner forced us to sign a mediocre quarterback to a 4-year, $160 million deal.
I think even Joe Schoen would admit, oh yeah, it was 100% a mistake to let Saquon Barkley go. But financially, we had to do it.
And that's what helps to make moves right now, like this offseason.
When you play in a salary cap league, you have to let players go sometimes. Sometimes, it's great that Saquon Barkley could rush 2,000 yards for us. But paying $15 million just doesn't work with our cap situation.
Plus, we got a guy in Tyrone Tracy who has worked out so far. I mean, based off his rookie year. So he's someone, he's not a Saquon Barkley, but he is more than a serviceable back. And
making $15 million less.
Yeah. And outside of the Eagles, like, you don't need a dominant running back to win the Super Bowl. No. You just need someone that will be serviceable. And like I said, except the Eagles who had Saquon Barkley. But before the Eagles won the Super Bowl, the Chiefs, Isaiah Pacheco, not a really dominant back, but he's serviceable. When the Chiefs won their other Super Bowl, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, not a dominant running back. Yeah, they still won. If you have other key players,
the Buccaneers got Leonard Fournette. I know he's a fourth overall pick, but look where he was in his career when he was in the Buccaneers.
That's right. They just brought him off the streets.
Brought him off the streets, exactly.
Yeah. As long as you have key players at other positions or great players at other key positions, you're going to be just fine to win a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And that's what the Giants look. We have Malik Neighbors. You have a Wandale. You have a High. You brought back Slayton. Like, those are guys like, my apologies. Those are guys that you can depend on to carry an offense. And you, of course, like, two quarterbacks that will get the ball to these guys. So this team has, obviously we're not going to Super Bowl next year, but with time,
there's a foundation in place. Yes. A foundation is being formed. And Joe Schoen mentioned himself in, I'm getting a phone call too. Joe Schoen mentioned that during the interview himself, where he goes, "Yeah, we have a foundation. We have what we believe is a core that we can build around now."
So he doesn't he doesn't overpay. He's gotten guys so far, and he's always done this, but he always gets guys for the right value, if not less. Adebo wasn't a high contract. Holland wasn't a high contract at all.
No.
And the other guys he signed, like a Chauncey Golston and players like that, they haven't been that expensive at all. And he mentioned the core on that defense that's going to be there for the next 3 or 4 years. And it was important that they have that core, because the continuity is important, whether it's in sports or in life. The more you follow a routine, the better it's going to be for yourself and in this circumstance for the team. Because the longer you keep guys together, the more chemistry they have, which leads to better play on the field. And this defensive core, Adebo, let's talk about the secondary real quick first. Adebo, Holland, Banks, Phillips, Newbin. You pair Newbin with Javon Holland.
It's dangerous.
That's dangerous. And Newbin and Holland, they're ball hawks. Adebo is a ball hawk. Banks has potential to be a ball hawk. Phillips is such a sound player.
He's just a dog down there.
He's just a dog, dude. And he's an unbelievable sound player, to say the least. And you pair that up with the defensive front we have with Dexter Lawrence and Brian Burns. This defense in the next 3 to 4 years, they can be something.
Yes.
Over time. You just need to have these guys gel, maybe keep a consistent scheme. And that's why it's so important that Shane Bowen really figures it out here in year 2, because year 1 was such a disappointment to where we were calling for his job. A lot of fans were calling for it. A lot of people were thinking, is he going to be out after 1 year? Yeah, he's still here. And like going back to continuity, that's probably why he's coming back, is because continuity. But I do hope he figures it out, because he does have pieces now in an Adebo and in a Holland. And he's getting a second year of Phillips and Newbin and Brian Burns with the Giants as well, after spending his time in Carolina. This defense really does have potential. We just have to see it. And you keep this core together for the next 3 to 4 years, we'll see something brew. Maybe not this upcoming season, but maybe the year after. We just will have to see. Other things as well. Shane was happy with the offensive line in the first 6 games. He's glad everyone's coming back, because the whole starting 5 is going to be back, whether by re-signing or they're already going to be on the team for 2025.
Which continues the continuity thing.
Yes.
The line, how important have teams talked about having like consistent 5 guys building chemistry together on the offensive line? Now we have that again.
It's important. First 6 games, all the guys were healthy, and the all-line they played well. They
didn't set the world on fire or anything, but I'd say they did fine. They did exactly what I wanted them to do.
top 15 unit to say the least.
Yeah.
And finally, talked about Brian Dable towards the end of the interview, how they want to push the ball downfield, and that's why they brought Wilson, and that's what potential lies with this offense is that they can push the ball downfield now with the Wilson or a Winston if he needs to start, which again goes back to Daniel Jones because Jones couldn't push the ball downfield, but a Wilson and a Winston can. So like I said, Jones was forced on to Shane, or forced to be re-signed by Joe Schoen, thanks to John Merritt and his idiotic decision making. Even though he cares, I love that Merritt cares about the team, just cares about the wrong players sometimes.
Yeah.
And overall,
he thinks with his heart too much, not his logic.
Yeah.
He lets his heart dictate what he does, it's not something you can do if you're making decision making.
You cannot, no sir. Also has some relationship with Russell Wilson in the past. He scouted him out of Wisconsin, met him last year when the Giants first tried to bring Wilson into the building before he signed with Pittsburgh. And of course, Shea Tierney, the Giants quarterback coach, was actually the student coach when Wilson was with NC State. So some relation there. I know, interesting stuff I learned from it. I love watching or reading his interviews. So definitely a past relationship when it comes to Russell Wilson and the Giants organization in terms of Tierney and Mr. Shane. But overall, good interview. Learned a few things about the Giants draft plans. Of course, it's as much as I love Shedeur, and I always hope the Giants do get him. BPA is best player available, I should say. That just seems like the route we're going.
It's the way to go. I think it's the perfect way for this team to go.
It hurts, man.
I know it hurts when you love a prospect like that, but I look at this roster. If we have 3, we have to take advantage of 3 this year.
Yes, because we don't want to be back here next year. So,
I don't want to be picking the top 5 again next year. And I know the schedule's tough next year, so I'm not going to go crazy and say we got to be in the teens. No, just show steady improvement. And if we have 2 potentially generational talents in Abdul Carter and Travis Hunter on the board, and we basically could have our pick of either one, we have to do that.
Yeah, Travis Hunter, man, 38. Like I said, I always love Shedeur. I always bang my drum for him. But damn, Travis Hunter on this team, man. A lot of pressure is taken off the receiver position. Oh, my God. Carter would take immediate pressure off that defensive line, and Dexter Lawrence will finally not be double teamed. But you get Hunter, man. It gives you flexibility for both positions. Receiver, less pressure. Cornerbacks, less pressure. Like, you have a guy that can make your team just so much better because he can play 2 positions, but also he's good at both of them.
Yeah. This is basically whenever the Giants do a 3, it's affecting that defense way more affecting the offense. Like, we both agree Hunter is going to be a corner in this league.
Yes.
So it's basically do the Giants want to build their Legion of Boom, or do they want to build just a Eagle style pass rush, which every single play someone's in your face?
Someone's in your face, man.
It's which way they want to go. Do they value pass rush, or do they value the secondary more? And we'll see with their decision at 3.
Definitely one of the more interesting drafts that we'll get to be a part of in recent history. 2022 was great with Thibodeau and Neal, but this one is really, we don't know because they could really go in either direction.
Yeah.
It seems like these past few years, right? It's always like there's a certain position that they need addressing. They really could go anywhere with this.
A position that needs addressing that sets a precedent, like quarterback last year. Oh, we have to draft a quarterback. Then it became, just get the best weapon available. Year before that, it was get the best corner available. Year before that, it was just address your trenches. Now it's, let's see how the draft plays out for us.
Joe Schoen will make the best decision for this team. And he is someone that is, I know this is a make or break year for him, but he will make the right decision at 3. And there will be good reasoning behind that number 3 overall pick. And we can't wait to find out here later on this April when the draft begins. Man, it's almost here, man. I'm excited. I'm definitely excited to say the least. But yeah. Any other thoughts on Joe Schoen's interview or Winston or anything like that before we
I
move
thought it
on,
was
buddy?
interesting with Joe Schoen how they talked about how they've been trying to get a Slayton extension done since like November. Like, how was that never reported anywhere? And it just shows that this organization must love him, absolutely love him.
And he's done so much, whether it's being benched and like still coming out and being a key receiver to taking a pay cut. And of course, when he sat out during the offseason, I was like,
we made fun of him because, like, Jesus, dude, know your place.
Yeah, but his place in this Giants team is something that does stand out, because not only is he's been a solid receiver for the past 6 years for us, but he's a leader. He's a veteran guy. He's in a way soft-spoken in a way.
Yeah.
But he's a guy that you want to keep around.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, you could have, and you mentioned this before, there's a bunch of Darius Slaytons in this league, but there only is one Darius Slayton,
right? Yeah,
named Darius Slayton, and I'd rather have him than a Joshua Palmer, who we were also linked to, and thank God we didn't get him, because I would have been pissed. Like, I'd rather keep Slayton at this point because of his familiarity with the team.
And it's a track record, like, you know what Slayton is. Slayton's your nice safety net, your safety blanket receiver.
He's a deep threat, but he can also do other things, and he's someone good to keep
was Jones's go-to guy his entire career. Like, that's the guy Dino Jones had the best repertoire with.
In that sense, because he had Malik Neighbors for a whole season last year, basically, until
and even look at Neighbors early on. Like, his numbers aren't what they like. Slayton out catches Neighbors in a few games early on last year.
And granted, that could be due to double teams or whatever the case may be on
Neighbors. Right, yes, that doesn't tell the whole story. I'm just saying it shows that even with he has a guy like Neighbors, Jones was always looking Slayton's way.
Yes. So glad he's back.
Yeah.
Glad he's back. So we'll see what the Giants do in the draft. We might do another mock draft on Thursday. We'll see. Because I know we'll be covering edge rushers on Thursday, so that'll be fun. All right, my friend, MLB update. So, like we discussed before to you all, I will have my small A segment because I like to talk about my A's, but more importantly, this is Brian's segment to talk about his Mets, because his Mets are the Mets are the more exciting team between the two of us, and they actually have a stadium. Unlike,
I was gonna say, we're not playing in a minor league park. We have the super.
Okay.
We have one of the greatest players in baseball.
Yeah, what's it called? The stadium was to full capacity, and they had people sitting in the grass, and I'm just like,
that's kind of fun.
That's so spring training.
I was gonna say it's such spring training vibes, but hey, it's kind of fun.
Yeah, it's not getting fun when you're getting going out 18-3. But
you know what the best part? Like, you're not the worst stadium position in MLB. I think the Rays are way worse than you are. At least you're playing in your own ballpark.
True. That is true.
The Rays are playing in the Yankees minor league park. Like, there's active tributes to, like, Derek Jeter and Babe Ruth in the outfield. Like, how could a team who says they have a rivalry with the Yankees play in, like, the shrine to the Yankees? Like, I know they're trying to play in Tampa and, like, the Rays minor league teams in Tampa, all this stuff, but, like, have some self-respect and go somewhere else.
Well, what's it called? Steinbrenner
Field.
And who does Steinbrenner belong to? The Yankees.
The Yankees, bro. Like, come on. Like, play it like ESPN's thing. ESPN has an MLB ballpark in Disney World. Play there. You're still in Florida.
That's the best part.
And it also opens up, because you don't know where you're playing next year. Tampa Bay says they're not going to build you a stadium. Orlando has had interest in the MLB team since, like, the 90s. See what happens if you can do a potential move to Orlando and get both the Tampa Bay and Orlando's markets. Now you actually might have a fan base that cares.
Yeah. Yeah, the Rays are a mess. Well, the A's and the Rays are both a mess, but...
Yeah, but I think the Rays more so. Because you're playing in a ballpark. Like, you're playing in something... You're playing something that's not a shrine to... You know, imagine if you played in the Astros spring training site. Exactly.
Disgusting.
Or no. The A's don't do that.
Yeah, like, give me my own stuff.
Exactly.
But even it doesn't even feel like our own stadium, honestly. Like it's just a minor league ballpark. And it's just so small. Like it's not the Coliseum, obviously, and it's just I don't even like thinking about it. But more importantly, there are other MLB headlines from week one. Well, not officially week one yet.
Weekend one.
Weekend one. There we go, of baseball. Torpedo bats made their presence known in the baseball world. The Yankees brought it to our attention because they scored 20 and 12 runs in the past 2 games with these torpedo bats. And they've been mashing dingers. Cody Bellinger and Paul Goldschmidt, Jazz Chisholm, Anthony Volpe, and Austin Wells are using those bats for the Yankees, which has led to 15 home runs in 3 games. Aaron Judge is not using these bats, by the way.
No, and if you don't know, I'm sharing my screen right now where you can see you have a picture of the bat. That is what they're talking about when they mean torpedo bats.
Yes, those look good too.
Mm-hmm.
They look weird, but they look.
It looks weird because we're just not used to it yet. We're used to a normal bat, and that's not it.
Yeah, it does damage. Like that 15 home runs in 3 games by the Yankees as he's using these torpedo bats.
Let's be honest. The Yankees might have had some help that the Brewers pitching is just absolutely atrocious. They gave up, I think, 14 runs to the Royals.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I think the torpedo bats are definitely helping, but I think the Brewers are just really bad.
Quite terrible, to say the least. I think Tyler McGill was complaining about it's the Yankees, so they'll let them do it. I'm like, maybe if you threw the ball better.
Okay, yeah, you saw Jazz Chisholm's bat, how the barrel's there. Pitch him more outside so he can't hit the barrel.
There you go, champ. See? Easy solution. Interesting, though. I think a few teams now have been trying to get torpedo bats. The Dodgers have been ordering some.
The Mets they hired, I mentioned top of the show, the Mets hired someone to make a bat for them.
And they're going to call that tornado bat. I'm just kidding.
Tornado bat, exactly.
It'd be funny if they did. Alec Bohm of the Phillies recently got his. I think Bryson Stott of the Phillies will also begin their own torpedo bats. Mm-hmm. No one on the A's quite yet. So maybe we could use one. Yeah, hopefully. Please. Other news as well throughout baseball. The Dodgers are now 6-0 heading into Tuesday. The Braves have bullpen issues. The Pirates are a mess.
The Braves are falling apart.
Yeah, falling apart.
They got suspended for 80 games. They can't win a game to save their life. They got issues. They have issues. And Ronaldo Lopez got placed on the injured list last night.
Fantastic.
So, things are not going well for the Atlanta Braves right now.
No, sir. And the Pirates are a mess as well.
We all do that. Come on. Pirates are a mess. Shocking.
Jared Jones, IL. Nate Gonzalez broke his ankle after hitting a home run. O'Neal Cruz is trash in center field. Their closer has 2 L's already. And
I feel bad for Jared Jones. First he was overshadowed by Paul Skeens, and now he's even more overshadowed by Paul Skeens.
Yeah, hey, when you're an IL, you can't do much. So
right, but he's a good pitcher. He's just lost because Paul Skeens is just that much better.
He'd be a number 1 anywhere else.
Anywhere else, he'd be the talk of the town, except in Pittsburgh. So.
All right, real quick with my A's, 2-2 over the weekend with the Mariners. We split with them. We won a game 7-0. Shout out to Jeffrey Springs, by the way. 6 innings pitched, 3 hits, 9 Ks, no runs. We also beat the Mariners 4-2. Oswaldo Bido, 5 innings pitched, 3 hits, 2 runs, 4 walks, but 4 strikeouts. So he made it up for it. We did lose 4-2 and 2-1. We lost on opening day, which hurt me because Sevy pitched an outstanding game. We still lost. And then we got blown out on Monday in our home opener, 18-3. And we made history. The 18 runs we allowed was the most by any team allowed in a home opener in MLB history.
It's also the most runs allowed in the city of Sacramento.
You just never mind. I love you.
You set several records last night. First.
I know. And then Carson Kelly hit for the cycle. The former Diamondback was mashing for the Cubs on Monday. But hey, hopefully this time we won't lose 18-3 again. Because if we do, I'm gonna lose it. And that's all I got.
We're only 5 games in the season, folks.
Oh man, baseball is such a joy to watch again. But it's now time for Flushing Faithful. So now it's gonna be all you, my friend. How did the Mets do this weekend? I heard a few guys hit some dingers.
Well, Juan Soto hit a dinger Friday
You
night,
sure
and
did.
so I have my friends up from college this weekend, so I didn't get to watch much of the Mets this weekend. I watched, updates on my phone and stuff. But when Juan Soto hit the home run, I threw my beer across the room, like, "Oh my!" I just started screaming. Like, Jesus, you really do love this man. I'm like, it is uncomfortable how much I like this person.
It's good to have a superstar for the rest of
The
your
rest of my 20s and most of my 30s, I'll have
most
this
of your
superstar
30s.
player. Yeah, I'm gonna be a little excited about him, a little. But nope, the Mets went 1-2 in Houston this weekend. Hey, when you're playing a team like Houston, Fermin Valdez absolutely demolished us on Thursday on opening day. That's the problem. Mets have had problems with him in the past. I think he almost hit us in 2023, I want to say. Only allowed one hit, which is to, ironically, Juan Soto in his first at bat. Nothing more you can do there. Looked good Friday night with Soto hitting the home run. Saturday, more the same. Jose Siri looked really entertaining with him stealing home plate. He looks like he's going to be an absolute fan favorite. The amount of energy this guy has, the way he plays, the swagger he has at the plate. This is going to be a guy Mets fans fall in love with. But as bad as the Houston series was, the game in Miami last night, I think, settled a lot of concerns for this Mets team. First off, the offense exploded. All right? 10 runs. We had the huge, I think, fifth inning with Pete Alonso hit his grand slam. Brandon Nimmo had a home run. So the offense is starting to click. Again, it's not facing these great pitching like the Astros, so they have. They're facing, Cal Quantrill. Cal Quantrill kind of sucks. Nothing more you can say there. But I think biggest of all, David Peterson, 6 innings, 2 runs, 9 strikeouts. A lot of concerns about the starting pitching. And David Peterson, if we can get that outing the rest of the year, every Mets fan would sign up for it. Just give up 2 runs, high strikeout numbers, get pitched into the 6th inning. That's all we want. That has potential to be a second or third starting pitcher this rotation, depending on what Senga and Manaea do. And also shout out to the bullpen, which has only given up 2 runs so far this season. And I believe I want to say 12 innings of work. I think Danny Young's the only Mets reliever to give up runs this year so far. So a lot of positives for the Mets right now, despite the 2-2 record.
Sorry, how many innings did Peterson go yesterday?
Peterson went 6. 6 innings, 2 home runs, 9 strikeouts.
You hear that, Tyler Glass now? 6 innings. Not that hard.
No. Big year from Peterson this year. If he can continue this, he's going to be really good. He was one of those unsung guys. I'm like, okay, well, we have Manaea and Senga as the 1-2. That's set. Peterson could step up. He'll be a perfect 3, and then the Mets can figure it out from there with some combination of Frankie Montas, Tyler McGill, Paul Blackburn, and Griffin Canning.
Love me a Blackburn, I'll tell you that.
I think Blackburn's going to be the long man out of our bullpen.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll be rooting for him.
Clay Holmes, too. I'm forgetting Clay Holmes is going to be the 4th in there, too.
Yeah, that opening day start was
It's tough because Clay Holmes showed a lot of flashes, all right? He got Altuve, he struck him out twice. You got Yordan Alvarez looking silly on a kick change. Didn't throw the kick change that much, though. I think he only threw it 4 or 5 times. Mm-hmm. So he's still kind of working on it. If he could his big problem was allowing walks and just soft singles through the infield. If he can limit those, he'll do fine. But got strikeouts. Stuff looked effective past 1 inning of work, which is a major concern if you're a reliever turning to a starter. And he pitched 89 pitches. So he shows he has the stamina to get deep into games. If he can just limit the base runners, he can get that 6 innings.
I do have a question real quick. Why does a reliever want to be if they're good at something, because he was a good reliever, but why did the Mets, or why did he want to be a starter if he was already good at relieving?
There's multiple things by that. I mean, first off, all relievers are failed starting pitchers. At one point or another, there's no one that no one that goes, I'm going to be a reliever. Everyone starts as a starting pitcher, and when they can't do that, they move to the bullpen. Like, even Mariano Rivera, the only player to ever get 100% on the Hall of Fame ballot, was a starting pitcher at one point. He was a starting pitcher of the Yankees minor league system, almost traded to the Mariners in like 95, I want to say. But that's a story for a different time. And second, the Mets just saw something with Holmes. They saw something with his stuff that goes, we could stretch this guy out and make him a really good starting pitcher for us. So I think that's where it comes from. Like, looking for a new challenge, trying to right previous wrongs in the past, and just how the team feels about you.
Yeah, because I always knew him as one of the like more solid relievers in baseball, and for you guys to convert him to a starter, I was just like,
it's weird. Don't get me wrong. It is definitely a weird thing they're doing. I would have probably preferred just to sign Clay Holmes as a reliever and make a really good bullpen. But I love what I saw from spring training from him. If he can just build off the positives in that first start, they could have something here. It's a process. It's going to take we can't have a fair discussion about Clay Holmes until I think the All-Star break. You have to give him that much time to just like change his routine enough and find something that works.
Okay. It's going to take time, like you mentioned, with him to get used to being a starter and being pitching deep into games. But hopefully we see it, man. Because like you mentioned, that the Mets saw something in him, or he wanted to be a starter, and both sides are like, we can make this work.
But the best part is the Mets have 3.5 pitchers in their starting rotation right now, I would say. I feel like you have Senga, who I believe pitches tonight. Tonight or tomorrow, Senga is on the mound. No, it's Senga's tonight, Clay Holmes is tomorrow. So we'll see Clay Holmes in his second start tomorrow, which I'm excited for. But I feel like Senga will be fine. Minaya, you're good. And then Pearson has that 3. That's his dangerous 1, 2, 3. And then whatever you get on Clay Holmes, take it.
Yeah. You guys saw Miami today, Tuesday, and then again then Wednesday, and then home opener on Friday.
Home opener on Friday. Got tickets yesterday, so let's go, boys.
Congratulations, my friend. Heck yeah. Do you SeatGeek?
Yes, of course I use
SeatGeek. Use the code BellyUp Sports for 20% off your first purchase. Shout out to Brian for using SeatGeek. So, using one of our sponsors. Fantastic.
Of course, gotta use a sponsor. Gotta support.
Hey, damn right. You're damn right. But already, any else Mets players that we need to know? I think you guys made a trade. Yes, I'm not sure if that's relevant.
Yeah, we traded what's his name? It's a nobody. It's a guy.
That's when it's not relevant.
Yeah, it's Alexander Canario. We traded for him from the Cubs this spring training. Actually had a really good spring training for us. Batted over 300. Made look nice. A lot of people calling he's a speedster. People calling for him to get like a final bench spot and like the flip like a Starry Marte. Just wasn't going to work in the cards this year. So, hey, I'm glad we got something for him and didn't just outright release him. But he was an interesting player. I'm excited to see what the Pirates do with him.
Okay. And he's got what, cash for him? So
just cash for him, yeah. Exactly.
Nice.
So basically, we traded for cash. We gave him a tryout. Couldn't make it work. We got our money back. Basically, we returned him. Only we sent him to the Pirates instead of the Cubs.
Yeah. Trade him somewhere where he could possibly make a role or make a difference. So
yeah.
Alrighty. Well, thank you, sir, for Flushing. Sorry, I'm trying to get used to the name again. Flushing Faithful. And that segment will be back on every show until baseball season ends. We will have Flushing Faithful. So for you Mets fans,
when every series ends, we'll have an update.
Okay. Yeah,
because pretty much if we're doing Tuesdays and Thursdays, that's going to be like every series and stuff.
True. Alrighty. More NFL news. Back to the NFL world because we have some updates in terms of the league meeting. All 32 coaches, owners, whatever the case may be, meet up at some random place and get together to vote on rules and all the things, or talk about other stuff. I did not watch the Brian Daboll press conference because that was literally today, the day of us recording this episode. So we'll probably talk about his conversation with the media on Thursday after I get to watch it, of course. But some things were passed and things were discussed in this league meeting. Aaron Rodgers to the Steelers is gaining steam. He had a really productive day with the Steelers when he met up with them. And, of course, we know about his workout with DK Metcalf as the two were spotted working out together. So if that doesn't scream him to the Steelers, I don't know what does.
Yeah, I don't know. He has, if he wants to play football next year, he's a Steeler because he's not going to Minnesota. I'm sorry.
Nope.
Give up with that dream now.
Nope. Vikings fans are thankful that he's not
The only
going there.
reason why anyone wanted to go to the Vikings was just to be funny with the Brett Favre thing. That was it.
That was literally, other than that, they knew like his play with Minnesota is gonna set him back. No matter even
And
if
like
Kevin
we
O'Connell's.
much rather see JJ McCarthy than Aaron Rodgers.
You're damn right. And Rodgers, in no way in heck is gonna be a backup to anyone.
God,
No, sir.
no.
No, sir. 16 teams wanted the tush push to be banned. But that particular proposal to ban it will be pushed to a future date. So the tush push is here to stay until further notice. There is momentum for an 18-game season. Roger Goodell and Players Association Executive Director Lloyd Howe have started conversations between that. It is inevitable at this point in time.
I mean, just come on. Make it 18 games, get the Super Bowl on President's Day weekend, which is what they've wanted forever. Like, just get it over with. 18 is the perfect number. It's even again, so you still have like the 16 thing. So guys like us that grew up with 16-game seasons, all right, well, just 18 games now. It's not the even number still.
Yeah. So, and you can actually go 500.
Exactly. Yeah. You
99. There you go. You can be average. So the current bargaining agreement is through 2030, but this addition for another game could happen before this. This means week 1 would be on Labor Day, and the Super Bowl will be played on the Sunday before President's Day. So like you mentioned,
perfect.
The day after, you can drink as hard, get drunk as much as you want, and then be able to rest the next day. So works out. In terms of Thursday Night Football, that was discussed as well. Within weeks 13 to 17, the league will be able to flex any Sunday games to Thursday games within 21 days. We saw this last year in week 16 when the Chargers and the Broncos replaced Cleveland and Cincinnati on Thursday Night Football. No team will be required to flex a Thursday Night Football game more than once, and every team, as we all know, has a max up to Thursday Night Football games. And my favorite out of this league meeting, teams will be allowed to wear their alternate / throwback uniforms 4 times across 17 games. The number increases from 3 to 4. Shout out to the Broncos owner, by the way, for doing for proposing this rule.
It's so weird how we have such strict uniform rules.
It's so stupid.
I get us not wanting teams to be like the Oregon Ducks, where they wear a different uniform every single game, but like, let teams wear throwback uniforms when they want to. The rule should be like, you have to have an established home jersey, an established away jersey, and you have to wear those, majority of the time. But like, you can have as many alternate jerseys as you want. You can just wear them when you want to, when you don't want to.
And us Giants, we got some nice uniforms.
The Giants have 9 home games a year? 8 or 9 home games?
This year, I think we have more home games. I think this year
8 home games. Let's just say for the sake of we have 8 home games. So the requirement is you have a standard home jersey and you have to wear that 5 times a year. Then you still have 4 games. Like, hey, you can wear your home jersey still, but if you want to do 4 alternate jerseys, go ahead. That way you still have the traditional home and away jersey, because majority of the time they're still wearing the home jersey, but it allows more creativity with the aways, with the alternates.
I love our legacy uniforms, man. Those legacy blue uniforms are amazing. And then we have the color. I like the color rush too, the white and
all right.
We don't have much success with them, but they look nice. And then there were some other rules also pushed or passed, I should say. The touchback is now the 35-yard line. So NFL is just getting worse and worse.
They're just trying to get they want the kickoff gone so badly, and they just can't get it gone.
So not only did they push the touchback to push it up to the 35, but they also I think they're keeping the whole UFL style kickoff where it's like there's a kicker by himself, and that's I hate it. Overtime rules are officially going to be for both the regular season and the postseason, so both teams will get to possess the football in both the regular season and the postseason.
Why that wasn't always the rules beyond me.
I don't know. I tell you that. And then finally, the Lions' proposal to remove an automatic first down for illegal contact / defensive pass interference was declined. Good. So, yeah, that was a stupid proposal.
I think everyone saw it as stupid too.
Yeah. And then the whole playoff rule, a playoff proposal in terms of divisions or the best or playoff reseeding based off record and not division was not, I guess, passed. I should say, yes, was not passed. So, and then, that is kind of it for NFL league meetings. And like I said, actually, another rule that just passed as well. The NFL announced that Sony's Hawkeye technology will be used next season to measure or electronically measure first down. So that means the chain
out. It's common.
Yes, the chain crew will remain on the sideline as a backup. But no first downs will no longer be tracked with the chain game. Oh, they will be as a backup, but it's gonna be. Damn, technology is taking over football, dude. Ah, damn, that kind of low key sucks. Remember that when they used to use the index card?
The index card was the greatest thing ever.
He
has that in his pocket. I love how everyone just kind of realized, like, wait a minute, referees have index cards in those pockets the entire time.
Like, shoot, it's a useful tool to say the least.
Yeah.
But yeah, my friend, any other? I know I talked a lot there in terms of the NFL rule changes. Any thoughts on that? Anything that you want to?
No, nothing really. Everything kind of I expected. I'm surprised the tush push has as much momentum behind it as it does. Yeah. But other than that, nothing really crazy.
Yeah, the Bills, Chiefs, and I'm trying to find the other team, and the Steelers mentioned player safety as the reason why they want to ban it. Ironically, the teams that were beat by the Eagles last year.
Yeah, I mean, but Chris Jones did get hurt on the tush push. He did hurt his neck in the Super Bowl. So, like, I do see where they're coming from. That excuse makes sense for them. Hey, we lost our star defensive end in the Super Bowl for a few plays because of this stupid play. All right, I can understand where you're coming from.
Yeah, it's football at the end of the day. It's contact.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. If you want to, like, do it in a way where, like, you can't have, like, 3 guys push on him, like, limit the amount of guys pushing to kind of counteract that, sure. But other than that, it's just a QB sneak. It's a more efficient QB sneak.
That works.
Yeah.
And the Eagles have worked that. And any team can do it.
Mm-hmm.
We did it and failed.
Well, we tried to do it. I don't think we did it. We tried to do it.
I think Lewinsky got hurt.
I think multiple people got hurt in that play.
Yeah. We did it. We failed
to do it and messed up royally.
Exactly. So, all right, my friend, new segment as well that we'll be doing every show now. We'll call it the post-game segment until we get a better name for it, where we talk about literally random headlines across the sports world or in the world as a whole, except politics. We don't do politics. I don't know.
If you like politics, you're a loser. You see him accurate grid today?
I did not.
It's just guys that played in the major leagues. So
maybe we should do one of those on Thursday.
Yeah. Today'd be funny because, like, you're just like, I don't know, Bobby Parnell played in the major leagues.
Who the fudge is that?
You just come up with random MLB guys. Oh my God, this is gonna be great.
That would be fun to do. But that is Thursday's plan. But yeah, this segment we talk about stuff around the world, social life, entertainment industry, other things. So, but we'll start with a few more sports topics. The Browns owner called Deshaun Watson and his deal a big swing and a miss. So at least he admitted it. Yeah, I tell you that.
Wow, look at this guy.
Man, Deshaun's probably like, damn.
Man, the owner's not even on my side anymore. Okay, it's over. It's a wrap.
Time to get out, dude.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that Cleveland is in a bit of a quarterback situation. But if they do stay at 2 and get Shedeur Sanders, a bright future could possibly be coming. I just feel like Shedeur will die in Cleveland. Not literally, but his football career will die in Cleveland. So
his career will die.
Yeah. March Madness is obviously all about the men's March Madness and all the things, but the women's side is now set to 4 teams officially as of today. Texas and South Carolina will face off along with UConn and UCLA. Shout out to Paige Bueckers, by the way. Led the team to a win over USC, which unfortunately they lost Juju Watkins the game before due to the ACL injury, and I blame Jaden Daniels' mom for that, but I digress. Bueckers at 31 points, 6 assists.
Did you see the Maryland game, the Maryland-Colorado State game on Thursday?
I did not. They
showed Angel Reese, and then for the next 4 minutes, Maryland could not make a layup. I swear to God. Angel Reese was sitting there in a Maryland hat, and Maryland just went on like a 4-minute run. They could not make a layup.
She cannot.
And all I thought of was the TikTok guy going bang the entire time.
Bang! She just can't shoot, Reese. No. She can't. Literally all of her shots, or most of her shots, are off of rebounds.
All the rebounds. She set the record for rebounds. Yeah. How many of those rebounds were because of her horrific shooting?
A lot of them, to say the least. But she was definitely going to lead the league in rebounds per game.
Yeah, she's a great rebounder. It's too bad that majority of her rebounds are because she can't shoot the ball.
I hope she fixes her shot, because otherwise, I don't know what you're going to do. But Bueckers, shout out to her, man. 105 points in UConn's past 3 games. That is the most by any UConn player in a 3-game span, as UConn is off to their 4th Final Four in a row. And this is Bueckers' last chance to win her first national championship.
Which is so surprising. UConn's been as dominant as they have been. They're on like a little bit of a title drought right now.
Dude, Coach Gino, man. Coach Gino's a good one.
He might have an argument as great as college basketball coach of all time for what he's done with just turning UConn into the absolute machine that they are.
It's incredible what he's been doing over there with the Huskies. So onto their 24
Final Four appearances, 11 natties, 27 conference championships. Like,
that's a lot.
Come on.
That is quite. That's
several. Excuse me. 3 gold medals.
That's some numbers, baby. Now that's some numbers.
9-time AP Coach of the Year. 13-time Big East Coach of the Year. 6-time AAC Coach of the Year. Like, Jesus.
He keeps it rolling. That's all he does. All he knows to do is win.
All this guy does is just win.
That's Coach Dino for you.
This team has. Oh no, yeah, this team is just, my God,
too good. As for the other matchups between Texas and South Carolina, the Gamecocks, always a good team led by Don Staley. Not much of an offensive force.
I'm sorry, I had to go back to UConn again. From 2007. To 2023, they made the Final Four every single year besides COVID. It took a pandemic for them to stop that streak. That's insane.
Quite impressive. Hey, when you have a great coach and you bring in the best woman to play for your program,
don't stop.
You're gonna have success. Man, You're gonna have success, man. And UConn has basketball royalty when it comes to women's basketball. I'll tell you that, and men's basketball to an extent as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
You say it's the best basketball school in the country because they dominate in both. Yeah, they dominate. Oh,
yeah. You know,
they have 18 They have 17 national championships since the 90s.
Yeah, because people are like, Duke and Kentucky or whatever. It's like, no, but those schools don't have a dominant men's and women's team like UConn.
Yeah. UConn's a lot like the Patriots, where they didn't have much success before, but like as of the 90s and 2000s, they are the best team.
They sure are. So I fully expect them to make the championship game. I mean, UCLA. Excuse me. UCLA is a good team, but UConn's gonna take care of business.
Yeah, I think Paige gets her first this year.
I'm sorry.
I think Paige gets her first this year. I think they're going all the way.
Oh yes,
no bias at all.
Because son of a gun. Yes, but this is her last chance before she goes to the pros, or the WNBA, I should say.
Yeah.
Next season.
That is the pros.
Yeah, it's the pros. So, South Carolina though, they are also back in the Final Four. But not much from an offensive perspective when it comes to them. The last 2 meetings, they've beat Maryland 71-67, and they beat Duke 54-50 to get to the Final Four. But defense and late game execution have been the keys for the Gamecocks this Final Four. Don Staley is obviously an outstanding coach, but the players, not really a dominant offensive force to say the least. So a big question mark for me when it comes to them. But hey, if they can shut them down, if they can shut Texas down defensively and pull out a close win, they'll easily make the championship game. But I do think UConn's gonna win the whole thing. I just think when you have UConn's offensive firepower, it's too good.
Yeah,
it's not just Bueckers. So yeah, shout out to wanted to shout out the women's Final Four or March Madness to say actually, a lot of March Madness attention is focused on the men's side, but hey,
this year stinks. We have all 4 1 seeds.
I know, so fun over there, and
it could be great games, but come on,
all number
one Cinderella.
Seeds. I know, just give us one, man. But my quick question, buddy. When you shower, have you ever slipped in the shower before?
Yeah.
Did you not? I personally haven't. Did you seriously hurt yourself?
No, just bruised my hip a little bit. I laughed at it.
Freddie Freeman slipped in the shower.
Did he?
Yeah, he missed the game yesterday because of it. And he is now day-to-day with ankle swelling.
Oh my God! He hurt his ankle in the World Series last year. He re-aggravated it because he slipped in the shower.
He slipped in the shower. I feel bad for him. I wonder what soap he was using, because apparently that soap was way too slippery, or maybe too much soap to be exact. But yeah, just wanted to bring that up real quick. And Stanford, they hired Frank Reich as their head coach for 2025.
I mean, if you can't coach NFL, I guess just try college.
Yeah, that is true. He does reunite with GM. Hey, college football has GMs now.
College football always has GMs. They just have more prominent roles now with NIL.
Yes. And we have actually a message from Andrew Luck. Dearest mother, my neck beams with confidence in sharing with you that General Reich has agreed to lead our men into battle. A rousing development. Indeed. Please inform the cows immediately, as I know they worry. My resolve strengthens, I yearn for victory, as do we all. Andrew.
Someone made the same account, but for Marcus Freeman. It's great.
What? Oh,
yes.
wait.
Little Colonel Marcus Freeman, I believe.
Is that what it's called? Okay.
I believe it's Colonel Marcus Freeman.
I gotta find it. How you spell Colonel?
Great question.
Darn it. My spelling is terrible. Colonel. Colonel. My fault. Colonel Marcus Freeman. Is it there? I can't find it. No.
I'm definitely following him. I will send him over.
Thank you very much.
He's so funny.
But yes, in all seriousness, when it comes to Stanford, thank you. Can you spell the username?
It's actually Captain. C-A. So it's C-A-P-T, capital M, capital F, and then the rest of Freeman, N-D.
Thank you very much. Let's see. Captain Golden, it has been my distinct honor and privilege to serve alongside you. I shall count it among my greatest regrets that our time together was not longer. May fortune favor you in all your endeavors henceforth. With the utmost respect, MF. Let's see. I like this one. Mother, a bitter truth. Victory was not ours this day. Reference to the national championship. Defeat cannot tarnish the honor our men displayed, nor lessen the pride I hold for their unwavering courage. Take heart, for even in loss, we have forged a legacy of resilience and unity. We shall rise again.
MF.
God, I'm gonna follow this one. We should do one of these. Oh man,
Problem is we don't have anyone with a personality like it. Like we could do Jameis, but like Jameis would be more like
just goofy. Hey man,
hey guy. Like we could do like a kid YouTuber is what Jameis Winston would be.
Hey guys, I threw for 400 yards today and 5 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, and we won today. We had fun. But in all seriousness, Stanford. Their former head coach Troy Taylor was fired after a 3-9 season, back-to-back 3-9 seasons to be exact. But also there were some bullying investigations that were made.
Of course there were.
Yes.
Speaking of bullying, did you see remember the Richie Incognito incident? The bullying in Miami? Did you see that was fake?
What?
Look it up.
Oh.
Not that it was fake, but that who was the player being bullied?
Incognito.
Yeah, look up like allegations. Like,
Oh, Jonathan Martin and all that stuff.
Like he apparently like overreacted to like typical team hazing stuff, and like him and Incognito were friends and stuff like that. I'm not sure how true it was, but I saw it somewhere. Like I think like the Post had it. Like, oh, okay.
Oh Lordy, there's
Incognito was on Twitter being like, finally, like I've been, like my name has been cleared.
In an article that landed on ESPN, former Dolphins tackle Jonathan Martin says that the 2013 scandal that took the league by storm, I never believed for a second I was being bullied. It's been a story I've been trying to fix for 10 years.
There it is.
Yeesh.
Yeah, not good. Because I just like I know Incognito had like jobs after that, but it kind of destroyed his career, where he was like never looked at the same.
He was never even bullied.
Nope.
Also, some controversy right now is it's an extra topic real quick. The Ole Miss woman, I guess.
Oh, I heard something about
that. That was false, apparently.
False.
None of that happened. So, by the way, that topic was mentioned on Pat McAfee. I guess the family of the girl, Mary Kay Cabot or whatever, they're trying to sue.
Wait, like the Ole Miss girl that with the father?
They're saying, yeah, apparently that all was false.
No,
Brian,
that was so funny to watch.
It was funny, but apparently it was false. And now she and her family are suing.
I say rightfully so, rightfully so, as they should.
So. And finally, before we go to our pickle, Sydney Sweeney is now single. She has called off her marriage with Mr. Jonathan, whatever his name is. Don't know his name. Don't care.
Don't care. What did you know? It's one of the all-time bag fumbles of all time.
Yeah. Apparently, I guess they just fell out of love. She tried to keep it together, but couldn't do it, and now she's solely focused on her career. So, for all of you men out there, the opportunity is there.
Barcelona had a great tweet this morning with like me shooting my shot with Sydney Sweeney, and it was like 70-yard field goal on Madden.
Stadium pulls at one.
Yeah, like Stadium pulls at 1,000. Me trying to shoot my shot. Me trying to slide into Sydney Sweeney's DMs, just like it is an ultimate long shot. But you know what? Crazier things have happened.
We are in Sydney Sweeney. Oh. But yeah, man, she's one of the more attractive women in this world, and I hope she has success with her career, obviously. And if she finds someone else, fantastic. But an end to a interesting marriage, to say the least.
That was never marriage. They didn't even get married.
They didn't get married. I didn't even know who the guy was, to be honest. But anyways, on to pickle. Last week it was in
Jacob deGrom.
Thank you very much. But now we'll see who it is today. I gotta get a better layout for this thing. For this, anyways. All right, my friend. Well, let's see if we can guess today's player. You can start as always, my friend.
I'll give it to the guy that hit the grand slam last night. Let's go, Pete Alonso.
Of course, you would go with the Mets player. There's nothing wrong with that.
Wow. Okay, he's an American first baseman.
Okay. Well, you know what? Since you're going with the team that you root for, I will go with the team I root for, and then the AL. I'm gonna go with Tyler Soderstrom because he's a first baseman. And let's see if he is. Okay. Well, he's
lefty
first baseman. USA.
He's an American League Central or East player.
Yes.
Actually, no, he's an American League Central player.
Right, that's correct. Because
American League Central player.
So who's a lefty? That's a first baseman.
Lefty, first baseman, the American League Central. So it's the Twins, the White Sox. Twins, the White Sox, the Royals. Try Vinny Pasquantino.
What the fudge? Okay. All these names.
Thank you.
Jesus Christ. Never in a... Oh my God. That's fantastic. This is why you're
That's
the
some
baseball
ball
guy.
knowledge right there.
That's why you're the baseball guy between us two. Holy, I would have never, ever guessed who. Wow. Well, that's why you're here, my friend. So congratulations. 3 guesses. That's our fastest one yet. One day you're gonna get it in one try, dude.
There's gonna be a Met player. I'm just gonna have to get it right. I realized my first guess should be like, what Met player played well the night before?
Mark Vientos.
Mark Vientos. When Jose Siri gets pulled one day, it's gonna be absolutely upset insanity here.
That's gonna be bonkers. I tell you that. But that'll do it for another show of the Third and 10 podcast, season 2, episode 72. On Thursday, we will have our edge rusher rankings. We'll do another game of pickle, and we'll talk about more baseball as our teams are continuing their series. Right now, the A's are continuing their home series, their first home series of the year against the Chicago Cubs, while you guys are wrapping up your series with the Miami Marlins.
Yep.
So, and then we'll talk more about that, and then we'll see more Giants. Oh, maybe a Giants mock draft. We'll see what we do.
Yes, we'll see.
Depends on that.
So I would assume we'll probably do edge rushers, mock draft, and then another pickle / just talking segment.
Talking baseball, baby.
Talking ball.
Yes, sir. 1 weekend or almost 1 weekend, we got a lot more baseball coming our way. And that's gonna be fun to watch and see. By the way, the A's radio broadcast yesterday was screwed. I think 6 times they cut out completely.
Oh, great.
Yeah, nice job, A's. Way to move your team to Sacramento. At least we have a backdrop of the sunset that's
nice.
Beautiful.
Hey, we're in Oakland. I mean, we're in Sacramento next weekend, I believe. I believe the Mets are going out there.
No way.
I believe so, yeah. We're playing you early this year.
I can't wait to lose.
Yeah.
Wait,
buy tickets, you want Soto in person.
Yeah, the economy doesn't allow me to do that right now. But hey, that's what TV's for. Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I can't wait for that Tuesday. Wait. Oh, it's soon. Oh,
yeah, I guess it's next weekend.
Holy crap. Alrighty. Well, hey, it'll be fun to make a friendly wager, I think we'll take 1 out of 3 from you guys.
I was just gonna say 1.
I was gonna say 2 out of 3, but I was just like, I don't know.
Okay. We'll wait for the pitching matchups to come out.
Yes, let's wait for that first. Because if you guys have to face off against Beto, Sears, and Estes, nope.
I'm about to give you guys if Sevy's on the mound, Sevy might have us. He knows what to do. He was with us last year. It's the same team.
Sevy's our ace. Springs was great in his first start. If he keeps it up, I think we got a shot to take 2 out of 3 if those 2 pitch. If only one of them pitches,
if it's anyone else,
we're getting swept. But otherwise, that'll do it. You can follow us on social media as always at Brian PG1016 on X. You can follow me and Nathan_124 on Twitter as well, and our podcast page at Third and 10 Pod on the X, on the Instagram, on the TikTok, which might get banned on April 5th. We'll see what happens there.
I'm not deleting it this time. Made a mistake last time. I'm not doing it.
Yeah, I'm barely on it. I'm barely on it anyway. So
I've been on it a lot recently.
Why? Oh,
I don't know. Just
baseball content.
Yeah, probably. Probably plays a role in it.
But thank you guys so much for your support. Make sure to like and subscribe. It means a lot. We are on our road to 500 subscribers. Because that's when we get monetized, or one of the goals to get, or one of the requirements to get monetized is to get 500 subscribers. So we're getting there. So the road to 500 begins. But we appreciate y'all's support. Thank you guys so much. We'll see y'all on Thursday.